Let me ask you this. If you could relive your life, all the little moments and the big ones too, would you do it? But here's a catch. Every time you blink, time skips forward. 1 second, you're a kid playing on the beach, and then blink. Suddenly you're older. You blink again, and wait, what just happened? You missed it. Welcome to Before Your Eyes, a game where blinking isn't just something you do to avoid dry eyes. It's how you play. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but stick around because it's actually one of the most emotional games I've ever played. Before Your Eyes came out in 2021, created by this indie team called Goodbye World Games. The game uses your webcam to track your blinking, which means your eyes are the controller. The whole game revolves around this. You play as Benny, a soul on a boat ride to the afterlife. Your guide is the ferryman, part lawyer, part soul Uber driver who needs you to recount your life story to determine if you're worthy of passing on. The game makes you relive Benny's life, from his first memories to his final moments, except that every blink skips time forward. Just imagine failing a staring contest with yourself every single time. 1 second you're locked in this heartfelt moment,
and you're probably the least popular boy in the school, but I also like hanging out with you the most, which was also something I wanted to talk to you about. I like hanging out with you a lot, which is weird because after what happened with my mom, I never liked hanging out with anyone. So this has—
you blink and it's gone, just like life. The result is a bittersweet journey that mirrors the fleeting nature of life itself, capturing the tension between wanting to hold on and the inevitability of moving forward. The gameplay of Before Your Eyes is simple yet so clever. Let me show you. Here, Benny's mother is pouring her heart out about her lost dreams. Super emotional stuff. And you're like, okay, don't blink, please don't. Your stupid eyelids betray you. The moment is gone forever. Using a webcam, the game tracks your blinking to progress through time. Each blink pushes Benny's life forward, sometimes by seconds, other times by years. This means every blink has consequences. A missed moment, a skipped conversation, or a sudden leap forward in Benny's life. The genius here is that the game forces you to miss things. You want to stay in the moment, but life and your eyelids move on. Before Your Eyes isn't just about mechanics, it's about life, loss, and the human condition. Through Benny's memories, we see a story that's equal parts joyful and heartbreaking. There's his mom, Elle, an aspiring composer who gives us her dream for her family. And his dad, Richard, a gentle professor who's easygoing. Then there's Chloe, the adventurous neighbor friend who shapes Benny's childhood. Through Benny's memories, you witness his struggles with parental expectations, his blossoming friendship, and his passion for art. The ferryman, who sort of acts as a narrator in Benny's past life, highlights the vibrant, joyful aspects of Benny's life, painting him as a prodigious artist whose unique works earned him widespread acclaim. At first glance, Benny's story feels like a triumphant tale of success and promise. However, as the seagulls, souls of liars, start to interrupt, the ferryman's tone shifts. His celebratory attitude changes to skepticism, and he begins to question Benny's story. The tale of Benny's success as a famous painter starts to crumble. The ferryman pushes Benny to face the truth. These grand achievements weren't real. They were fantasies Benny created, a way to escape the harsh reality of his illness. And that's when the blinking becomes real, because every skipped moment brings you closer to the inevitable. The ferryman's demand for honesty turns the story into something raw and genuine.
But then,
When he was just 11 years old,
he was old. He got sick and was forced to stay
inside for an entire year. And in that year, he began to worry that he hadn't lived enough. So he made up a story of the great life
he thought he wanted to live.
which only made him forget the great life he already had.
How he had filled a new home with light and joy and promise.
He met a girl, his neighbor, who felt all alone in the world and made her feel okay again.
And how, even when he was sick, he still gave his parents hope. How he reminded them of exactly who they were.
After they had almost forgotten.
So when he was going to go, he was okay.
Because he'd already lived a great life, a full life. And he was everything he needed to be, just as he was.
By the end, he sets aside the embellished version of Benny's life and instead highlights its true beauty, the love and hope Benny gave to those around him. This powerful twist mirrors Benny's own path to acceptance. Benny's life wasn't extraordinary, but it mattered because of the love and connections he shared. The whole game started as a college project back in 2014. Will Hellwarth, the guy behind it, had this idea. What if blinking skipped time in a game? He saw it as a metaphor for death, inevitable and unstoppable, but also as a subversive commentary on video games, which are often about winning. Instead, this one would be a game about losing a staring contest with your webcam over and over again. And thus, the most existential staring contest of all time was born. And the game went through years of iteration. Will rallied some of his old high school friends, Graham Parks and Oliver Lewin, to help bring the project to life. The team's prototype, Closure, debuted at Indiecade. The blink tech barely worked, but when it did, people had big emotional reactions like actual tears over a glitchy demo. This early version won several awards at indie game festivals, including Best Student Game at GDC. With its success, the team launched a Kickstarter campaign in 2016, got some funding and thought, easy, this will be done in no time. Spoiler alert, it took 7 years. Early versions made players stare it so hard, it was like they were challenging their webcam to a duel. Every blink would skip time, making it nearly impossible to write a coherent story, and even more uncomfortable to play. Players would bulge their eyes out, trying to win an unwinnable staring contest with their webcam. As time went on, external expectations grew, and with it, the pressure. Delays mounted. The dream of releasing their game began to feel out of reach. Team conflicts arose, relationships strained, and the weight of failure loomed over them. They also faced creative hurdles. The team had to design a system that balanced frustration with immersion, ensuring players wouldn't feel punished for blinking. The solution? Adding the metronome, basically a heads up that your next blink will end the scene. It lets you enjoy the moment before yanking it away. This approach allowed players to savor the moment before the tension of moving on. Also, the team brought in Riot and Skybound Games. With fresh funding and fresh eyes, the team pushed through. They innovated, such as, instead of limiting blinking to just time jumps, they experimented with fun interactions. Players could now blink to reveal an environment, take photos, or play music. However, they stayed true to the core idea. Midway through a scene, a metronome would appear, signaling that the next blink would be the end. One game-changing decision was using motion capture for the characters. It gave the game's animation a raw human quality, like when a character howls like a coyote. Weirdly specific? Yes. Effective? Also yes. What made Before Your Eyes truly resonate was the team's decision to make it personal. Much of Benny's journey was inspired by their own lives. Lead writer Graham Parks drew inspiration from his own childhood, his experiences with illness and homeschooling, and even included elements from the team's shared memories. This lent the game an authenticity that resonates deeply with players. Their approach wasn't just write what you know, but write from what makes you vulnerable. They embraced subjects that made them uncomfortable, like loss and failure. Over 7 years, they went from a group of friends chasing a dream to a team grappling with the realities of loss, dreams deferred, relationships strained, and even the death of loved ones. In the end, the game became a reflection of all of them. What makes Before Your Eyes unforgettable is how perfectly its mechanics and story work together. This synergy creates a level of immersion that few games achieve. Consider this: in most games, you control the pacing. You can linger in a scene, explore every corner, or replay sections until you've tried everything. But in Before Your Eyes, you're at the mercy of your own physiology. You want to stay in the moment, but your body betrays you. It's frustrating, yes, but it's also so human. This interplay between control and inevitability mirrors Benny's journey. His life is marked by moments of agency, choosing his passions, relationships, but also by events beyond his control, like his illness. The game's structure reflects this duality, making every blink feel significant. It's a game that forces you to let go, even when you don't want to. Just like Benny, you learn that life moves forward, whether you're ready or not. Critics praised Before Your Eyes for its emotional depth and innovative mechanics. Screen Rant called it phenomenal for its ability to shift from joyful to heartbreaking in an instant. Polygon highlighted how the game's narrative, initially simple, reveals layers of complexity over time. It's also worth noting how Before Your Eyes has resonated with streamers and their audiences. The inclusion of a streamer mode, which displays the player's webcam feed, allows viewers to see the emotional impact the game has in real time. This feature helped the game go shortly viral, with many streamers shedding tears as they played. Watching someone play is like watching them relive their own memories, and that's powerful. Streamers played a huge role in the game's success. Their raw, emotional reactions connected audiences worldwide, proving that Before Your Eyes wasn't just a game, it was an experience. Despite its critical acclaim, nowadays, Before Your Eyes remains a hidden gem in the gaming world. Yet those who have played it often describe it as a transformative experience. The game has won several awards, including the BAFTA for Game Beyond Entertainment in 2021. Its BAFTA win and popularity among streamers demonstrate its ability to resonate with a wide audience. By blending innovative mechanics with a heartfelt narrative, it sets a new standard for what games can achieve. Before Your Eyes isn't just a game, it's a reminder of the beauty and fragility of life, delivered through a medium that combines storytelling, interactivity, and technology. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or someone who never picks up a controller, this is a game that will stay with you long after the credits roll. So if you haven't played it yet, give it a try. And remember, every blink counts.